Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Secretary, for being here. I appreciate your time. In 2017, Puerto Rico's dairy industry was ravaged by hurricanes. At that time, the USDA took swift action to aid the operators by allocating up to $12 million through the Commodity Credit Corporation so that Puerto Rico dairy producers could apply and receive vouchers that covered 100% of the estimated feed costs per head for about 30 days. As you are aware, last year, California's Central Valley experienced flooding events that it hasn't seen since the 1980s. In fact, there's still evidence of the legendary Tulare Lake just a few miles south of my own home in Hanford. Yet 1 year later, there has been no similar action taken to help reimburse our California producers for feed losses, relocation of livestock, or shelter-in-place procedures. While similar programs were implemented for an island territory in 2017, we haven't seen the same effort for California, home to the largest dairy industry within the 50 states. It's something that obviously is important to me, but in the Central Valley, I know a lot of agriculture was helped, but for some reason, dairy is not allowed and to qualify for some of the programs out there. And a lot of the flooding probably wouldn't have been as bad had management of our rivers and creeks and things that were going through the valley, if they hadn't have been ignored for so long. It made rivers flood in areas that weren't previously expected, and farmers were waking up with 2 to 3 feet of water and having to evacuate cattle just to save them and try to do as much as they possibly could. And for some reason, dairy's been left out of this. So as you have a discretionary powers with the CCC, what plans do you have to provide assistance to our state's dairy industry recovering from this crisis?
Well, just to be clear, for the chairman's benefit, I don't have discretionary authority. I have to work within the guidelines set forth in the charter.
But no one challenged Purdue when he did that for Puerto Rico, and that was a territory. Now we're talking about one of our own states.
Chairman Harris apparently wasn't in the position he's in now.
Well,
no, look, in order for the CCC to work, you have to stay within the guidelines. You have to stay within the charter. That is how Congress has authorized the development of the CC, and it's basically said it can be used to promote commodities.
so I guess the question is if one secretary is able to do it and no one challenged that secretary, why is this one different? And why do you feel like you need to go that? And obviously, I'd like to give you more discretion so that this wouldn't be a debate, but the opportunity was there and it's been done.
I can't speak to what motivated Secretary Perdue to do what he did. What I can tell you is that I ask our general counsel's office, anytime we do anything with CCC, is this authorized by the charter? Because I want to stay within those guidelines. And that's one of the reasons why we have never drained the CCC, as was the case in the previous administration, forcing you all to have to replenish it. We haven't done that. We're not going to do that because that's not, in my view, the way that should operate.
So and I think we're just going to have a fundamental disagreement there, because if there was no challenge from anyone when the last secretary did it, and then if you're just going to keep the money there and not help farmers across our own country, what purpose do you serve, and what purpose does any of this serve?
That's not to say that we're not using those resources to help farmers. For example, we use CCC to encourage purchases of food banks and for schools, which obviously will help the dairy industry because a portion of what's purchased is dairy product. We use the CCC to reduce fertilizer costs for farmers. We've used the CCC for a multitude of other commodity-related programs for farmers. The avian influenza is another example of resources that have gone into California and elsewhere that have been hit by avian influenza. So we use the CCC to help farmers. We just use it within the confines and structure of the charter.
Well, it's not been challenged before. It's happened before. There's a precedent to follow on this one. And then as far as the pricing side of things, I think the prices right now, when you look at the majority of commodities, they're in probably some of the worst shape we've ever seen. We got cheese prices sitting at $1.47, I think, today. And we had prices in the last few years where butter was sitting up close to $4, and it's down under $2. When you look at almonds are down under $2 when there was a time they were up above $4. Pistachios on their way down. Almonds or walnuts are at about a third of their cost of production. Table grapes are struggling. I mean, there's a lot of evidence where you're saying that you're using this to help farmer prices, but there's no evidence to back that up. Now, there's a precedent that can be set, that has been set on helping dairy farmers who have needed help in the past. And there's an opportunity here to help one specific category that did not qualify for any of the other assistance that was provided during those same storms. Why are they being left behind? So I think my time's expired. Thank you.